NYPD taking another step towards transparency and accountability. New guidelines now in place for better oversight of the department's disciplinary process. Take a listen.
But today's historic moment, showing that we are entirely ready, willing, and able to be transparent and open about discipline, to be consistent, to have it all clear from beginning to end. This is the kind of thing that will encourage those neighborhood residents to come forward, that will encourage them to have faith that the NYPD is listening.
So the NYPD and the Civilian Complaint Review Board signed an agreement yesterday pledging to follow the department's new disciplinary matrix. It's a 57-page document. It outlines penalties for officer misconduct with specific punishments for things like excessive force, making false statements, or racial profiling. Gwen Carr, she's been demanding these reforms since 2014 when her son Eric Garner was killed on Staten Island. Gwen joining me this morning with a reaction to these reforms. Gwen Carr, thanks for joining us once again this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, Gwen, it's 57 pages. Printed it out here. It is a very lengthy document, and it's full of minutia here. Taken nearly 7 years to get to this point where it appears there's a shift in the NYPD. How does it, on the face value, make you feel?
Well, you know, I fought for 6 long years, longer than 6 years, to get some kind of accountability. And looking at this matrix, it may have some good in it, but there is a lot of flaws in this matrix. Talking about excessive force and sexual propositioning children and all these different things. But when you look at the penalty is not saying that these officers are going to be fired. It is saying that they're going to get days in the street. They're going to get vacation days taken away from them. What kind of accountability is this? This is only enforcing and enabling the police officers to continue with their wrongdoing.
You know, so Gwen, I want to explain just for people at home that the Civilian Complaint Review Board, for those who don't know, is independent of the NYPD, right? They investigate complaints against officers, and then they make recommendations for discipline. Sometimes they're followed, sometimes they're not. So the board has been given a lot more access now to internal records, body camera footage, and will get to determine which officers they get to investigate, which was not something that was happening in the past. Do you see or trust that the CCRB would carry out that mission?
Well, in my case, the CCRB was excellent. They did do their job properly. But now, when they are agreeing with what they are putting in this matrix, and remember that the commissioner does not have to follow this. They could make all the recommendations that they want, but the commissioner could make his own recommendation. See, this is why there is so many different holes in this matrix. And then there is no real accountability. If you look through this, look at what the disciplinary action is going to be when these officers look the other way, when they lie on official report, which is supposed to be zero tolerance for lying on an official report. But they want to give 15 days in the street or 15 vacation days taken away or 5 vacation days or 10 vacation days. That's not accountability.
Yeah, and in the past, Commissioner Shea or the NYPD, in fact, has downplayed or ignored recommendations from the CCRB. This time around, though, Commissioner Shea says that he believes that there needs to be this restored trust in the system and that he believes he can be the final arbitrator. You're saying you don't know about that?
No, I don't, because when I met with Commissioner Shea and I talked to him about the police, our officers lying on my son's on the records after he was dead, he told me that that was a mistake, that the officer didn't actually mean to lie. So how could you trust a person like that?
So both Commissioner Shea and the CCRB chairman, Fred Davey, they praised this new matrix. They signed it in a church yesterday in Lower Manhattan. I want to play some sound from yesterday and then get your reaction.
That document is going to bring greater transparency and oversight to the NYPD's disciplinary process.
Our agencies are making a public commitment to greater accountability and to resetting the police disciplinary process in New York.
So Gwen, I'm listening to what you're saying very carefully. It seems like, and the conversations I've had with Commissioner Shea over the past few weeks and months are that he is on this listening tour with the public, hearing the concerns, and really does want to move about and create some change. When you look at this, and I know that you were looking closely at the document, what do you want to see added then?
I think it should be edited severely because it doesn't say what the public wants it to say. It doesn't say anything about firing police officers who commit heinous acts and anything short of lethal. They have so much language in there
Right.
that they're not going to prosecute if it's anything, if it's not any bodily injury. But why should a police officer incorrectly police and then they still get away with it? Why should police officers look the other way and they get away with it with just losing 5 vacation days? It needs to be looked at. It needs to be edited. It's not, some of it is good, but then a lot of it is not.
Right. So a step in the right direction, but more work needs to be done. Gwen Carr, always appreciate you joining us.
A lot more work.
Always
Yes.
appreciate your voice and always appreciate you coming on the Pix That Morning News, Gwen. Thank you.
You're so welcome.